Why are we here, Amaka? Ngozi looked at her best friend, confused. They were supposed to be going to a nice restaurant in Onitsha. A celebration. After all, Amaka had promised them a better life in the city. But this wasn't a restaurant. It was an old shrine, dark, empty, cold. Amaka, I'm scared, Chioma whispered, holding Ngozi's hand. This doesn't feel right. That's when Amaka pulled out the red cloth, the kind used in rituals. And Ngozi realized her kind, loving, generous best friend, the girl who had brought them from the village, promising them a better life, was about to sacrifice them. Amaka? Ngozi's voice broke. Sister, what are you doing? Amaka turned to face them, and for the first time in 20 years of friendship, her eyes looked empty, cold. I'm sorry, my sisters, Amaka said, tears running down her face. But this is the only way I can keep everything I have. But how did they get here? How does the sweetest friendship turn into betrayal? Let me take you back to where it all began. In the small village of Umwagu, everyone knew 3 girls who grew up together in the same small house. They weren't related by blood, but they were closer than sisters. Amaka, the responsible one, the eldest at 25. She took care of everyone. When the other girls were hungry, Amaka found food. When they were sad, Amaka made them laugh. She was like a mother to them all. Don't worry, Amaka would always say, hugging them close. As long as we have each other, we'll be fine. Ngozi, the cheerful one, 23 years old, with a laugh that could brighten the darkest day. No matter how hard life got, Ngozi found joy. She sang while fetching water. She danced while cooking. She made their poverty feel less heavy. We may be poor, but we're rich in love, Ngozi would say. Chioma, the gentle one, just 21, quiet, kind, trusting. She believed in people. She believed in God. She believed that good things would come if you were patient. God will provide, Chioma would whisper during the hardest times. The 3 of them lived together in a small one-room house at the edge of the village. Not because they were related, but because they had nobody else. Amaka's parents died when she was young. Ngozi was abandoned as a baby. Chioma's family rejected her when they couldn't afford another mouth to feed. So they found each other. 3 unwanted girls who became each other's family. They shared one bed, one pot of food, one wrapper that they took turns wearing to church, one dream that somehow, someday, life would get better. When Amaka was 16 and the other 2 were even younger, they made a promise under the big mango tree in the village square. They cut their fingers and mixed their blood. Sisters forever, Amaka had said, holding their small hands. Sisters forever, Ngozi repeated, her eyes bright with hope. Sisters forever, Chioma whispered, believing with her whole heart. No matter what happens, Amaka promised, looking at both of them seriously. We stay together, we rise together, we survive together, nobody gets left behind. The village watched them grow up together, 3 poor girls who had nothing but each other. Those girls, the old women would say, shaking their heads, life is so hard for them, but at least they have each other. Nobody knew that one day, that would no longer be enough. Life in the village was brutal for 3 girls with no family. They worked harder than everyone else just to survive. Amaka carried water for rich families, 2 naira per bucket. Ngozi washed clothes in the stream until her hands bled, 5 naira for a basket. Chioma helped on farms, planting and harvesting under the hot sun, 10 naira for a full day. At night,
They would come home exhausted, count their money together, and try to make it stretch. "We made 25 naira today," Amaka would say, dividing it into piles. 10 for tomorrow's food, 5 for kerosene, 5 for saving, 5 for emergency. Some nights, there wasn't enough food for all three of them. "I'm not hungry," Amaka would lie, pushing her small portion toward the younger girls. "You two eat." "We can share," Ngozi would insist, trying to give it back. "No," Amaka would say firmly. "I'm the eldest. It's my job to take care of you." They wore the same clothes year after year, patching holes until there was more patch than cloth. They watched other girls in the village get married, move away, start families, but nobody wanted to marry girls with nothing. No bride price, no family connections, no value. "Maybe we'll never get married," Ngozi said one night, trying to sound cheerful but failing. "Maybe we'll just be three old women living together forever." "That wouldn't be so bad," Chioma said softly, "as long as we're together." "No," Amaka said, her voice fierce. "No, we deserve more than this. We deserve better than being village charity cases forever." She stared at the ceiling of their small room, her mind turning. "I'm going to find a way out for us," Amaka promised. "I don't know how yet, but I will. I'll get us out of this poverty, I promise." Ngozi and Chioma believed her. They always believed Amaka. She was the strong one, the eldest, the one who took care of them. But what they didn't know was that deep inside, where nobody could see, something was growing in Amaka's heart. Not just determination, not just hope, desperation. And desperation, when it grows too large, becomes something darker.
"I'm going to Onitsha." Amaka made the announcement one morning after their usual breakfast of garri and water. Ngozi and Chioma looked up shocked. "Onitsha?" Ngozi repeated. "The city?" "Yes," Amaka said, her face set with determination. "I have to. We'll die here if we stay. There's no future in this village for girls like us." But we're together here," Chioma said, her gentle voice trembling. "If you leave..." "I'm not leaving you," Amaka said quickly, pulling both girls into a tight hug. "I'm going ahead of you. I'll find work, I'll make money, and then I'll come back for you. Both of you, I promise." "How long?" Ngozi asked, trying not to cry. 1 year, maybe 2, just enough time to establish myself. Then I'll send for you." "We'll miss you," Chioma whispered. "I'll miss you too," Amaka said, and her voice cracked. "But I'm doing this for us, for our future. Trust me." The day Amaka left, the three of them cried and held each other at the motor park. "Remember," Amaka said, gripping their hands, "sisters forever. Nothing breaks that bond. Not distance, not time, nothing. Sisters forever," Ngozi and Chioma repeated through their tears. They watched the bus take Amaka away, taking their eldest sister towards a future they could only dream about. For the next 5 years, they waited. At first, Amaka wrote letters every month. "My dear sisters, Onitsha is so big. So many people, so many cars. I found a job selling things in the market. It's hard, but I'm managing. I miss you both so much. I think about you every day. Soon, I promise, soon I'll have enough to bring you here. Your sister, Amaka." Ngozi and Chioma would read each letter 100 times, holding on to every word. But after the first year, the letters became less frequent. Every 3 months, every 6 months, and the tone started to change. "My sisters, things are different here in the city. People are different. You have to be smart. You have to be tough. The village way doesn't work here. I'm learning. I'm changing. But don't worry, it's all for us. Soon, Amaka." By the 3rd year, Ngozi and Chioma barely heard from her. "Do you think she forgot about us?" Chioma asked one night, lying in their bed that now felt too empty. "Never," Ngozi said firmly.
Though doubt crept into her heart, Amaka would never forget us. She's our sister. They held on to that belief like a rope in a storm. Meanwhile, in the village, rumors started. I heard Amaka is doing very well in Onitsha. I heard she has a big shop now. I heard she wears expensive clothes and rides in cars. Ngozi and Choma felt proud and happy for their sister, but also a little hurt. If Amaka was doing so well, why hadn't she sent for them yet? Still, they waited, because that's what sisters do. 3 weeks ago, Chioma was washing clothes in the stream when someone shouted her name. Chioma, Chioma, your sister is calling you. She ran to Mama Nkechi's house, the only person in their area with a phone. Hello. Chioma's hands shook as she held the phone. Chioma, my sister. It was Amaka's voice. After almost a year of silence. Chioma, Chioma. She started crying immediately. We missed you so much. Are you okay? When are you... Chioma, listen. Amaka interrupted, and her voice was different. Harder, more city-like. I'm ready now. I'm coming to get you. Both of you. Chioma's heart nearly exploded with joy. Really? When? 2 weeks. I'm coming in 2 weeks. Start packing. Tell Ngozi we're finally going to be together again, but this time in the city, with money, with a future. Oh, Amaka, thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Yes, Amaka said, and her voice sounded strange, tired. God bless us all. I have to go now. I'll see you soon, my sister. Chioma ran all the way home, crying and laughing at the same time. Ngozi, Ngozi, she's coming. Amaka is coming for us. They hugged and danced and cried together. Finally, after 5 long years, their sister was coming back for them. They would be together again. They would go to the city together. They would have the better life Amaka had promised. I told you, she wouldn't forget us, Ngozi said, wiping happy tears. God is good, Chioma whispered. Our prayers have been answered. They spent the next 2 weeks preparing. Not that they had much to pack, just a few clothes, some personal items, their hopes and dreams. They said goodbye to the village that had been their whole world. We will come back and help everyone, Ngozi promised the old women who had shown them kindness. When we make it in the city, we will remember where we came from. When Amaka arrived in a big car, wearing expensive clothes and makeup, looking like a completely different person, Ngozi and Chuma barely recognized her. But when Amaka opened her arms, they ran to her like children. My sisters, Amaka said, hugging them tight. I missed you so much. You look so different, Ngozi said, touching Amaka's smooth, straightened hair. So beautiful, so rich. Wait until you see Onitsha, Amaka laughed. Wait until you see what I have planned for us. They got into the car, their small bags in the trunk, their hearts full of excitement. Thank you for not forgetting us, Chioma said in the back seat. Amaka looked at them in the rearview mirror, and for just a moment, something flickered in her eyes. Guilt? Sadness? Regret? But then she smiled. How could I forget my sisters? The car drove away from the village, taking 3 friends towards a future that 2 of them didn't know was actually their end. The first 2 weeks, Onitsha was everything they'd imagined and more. Tall buildings, cars everywhere, lights that never went off, shops full of things they'd only dreamed about. Amaka's house shocked them the most. You live here? Ngozi gasped, staring at the 2-bedroom apartment with real furniture, a TV, a refrigerator, everything. Yes, Amaka said, seeming embarrassed by their amazement. It's not much by city standards, but it's a palace, Chioma interrupted, touching everything like it might disappear. That first week was like heaven. Amaka took them shopping, bought them new clothes, fed them food they'd never tasted before. Eat, eat, Amaka insisted, piling their plates high. You both are too thin. We need to fatten you up. They laughed and ate and felt like maybe all those years of suffering had been worth it to end up here. Amaka even took them around the city, showing her business. What exactly do you do? Ngozi asked, curious. Import and export, Amaka said. Vaguely, Business things. Don't worry about it. Just know that very soon you'll be working with me. We'll all make money together. When do we start? Chioma asked eagerly. Soon, Amaka said. Very soon. I'm just setting some things up first. But as the second week went on, Ngozi noticed things. Strange phone calls that Amaka would take in another room. Men who came to the house late at night, giving Amaka envelopes of money. The way Amaka sometimes looked at them with an expression that wasn't quite love. It was something else. Something calculating. Do you think something is wrong? Ngozi whispered to Chioma one night when Amaka was out. Wrong? Like what? Chioma asked innocently. I don't know. Amaka just seems different, stressed. She's probably just busy with business, Chioma said. Don't worry so much. But Ngozi couldn't shake the feeling that something was not right. Ngozi woke up late at night to use the bathroom. As she passed Amaka's room, she heard her talking on the phone. The door was cracked open slightly. Yes, I have them here, Amaka was saying in a low voice. 2 of them, young, healthy, perfect. Ngozi froze. 3 days from now, the full moon. I know what I have to do. Something cold crept down Ngozi's spine. I told you I would deliver, and I will. This is what we agreed. This is what you paid me for. Paid? Paid for what? Yes, I understand. If I don't do it, I lose everything. My house, my shop, my life. I know. Amaka's voice cracked with stress. They trust me completely. They won't suspect anything. I'll tell them we're going out to celebrate. I'll bring them to the place. And then it's in your hands. Ngozi's heart stopped. I don't want to hear the details, Amaka said, sounding like she was crying now. Just make it quick. They are my sisters. I don't want them to suffer. Ngozi backed away from the door silently, her whole body shaking. This couldn't be real. This couldn't be happening, but she'd heard it with her own ears. Amaka was planning something terrible. She went back to the room she shared with Chioma and shook her awake. Chioma, she whispered, urgently, wake up, we need to talk. What's wrong? Chioma mumbled sleepily. I think Amaka is planning to hurt us. Chioma sat up suddenly awake. What? That's crazy. Amaka would never... I heard her on the phone, Ngozi said, her voice shaking. She was talking about delivering us somewhere, about being paid, about making it quick so we don't suffer. Chioma stared at her and slowly, the innocence drained from her face. No, not Amaka, not our sister.
We need to leave, Ngozi said. Tomorrow, we need to go back to the village. But maybe you misunderstood, Chioma said desperately. Maybe it was about something else, business. We should ask her. We can't ask her, Ngozi hissed. If I'm right, should know we know. We have to be smart about this. They stayed up all night trying to decide what to do. By morning, Chioma had convinced herself that Ngozi must have misunderstood. Amaka loves us, Chioma insisted. She brought us here to help us. She's our sister. This is all just a misunderstanding. Ngozi wanted to believe that, desperately. But the cold feeling in her chest wouldn't go away. The day of the full moon. Amaka was extra sweet that day. She made them their favorite breakfast. She told them funny stories. She hugged them more than usual. You girls mean everything to me, Amaka said, her eyes wet with tears. You know that, right? We know, Chioma said, hugging her back. You're the best sister anyone could ask for. Ngozi said nothing, just watched and worried. That evening, Amaka got dressed up nicely. Get ready, she told them. We're going out tonight. To celebrate. I want to take you to a nice place. A restaurant? Chioma asked excitedly.
Something like that, Amaka said, not meeting their eyes. Wear something nice. This is a special night. As they got ready, Ngozi pulled Chioma aside one more time. Please, she whispered. Something is wrong. I can feel it. Let's just say we are sick. Let's not go. You're being paranoid, Chioma said. But her voice shook slightly. But everything was not fine. As they drove through Onitsha in Amaka's car, Ngozi noticed they were heading away from the city center, away from the restaurants and lights, toward the outskirts, toward darkness. Where are we going? Ngozi asked, her voice tight. It's a surprise, Amaka said, gripping the steering wheel too tightly. Just trust me. Those words. Trust me. The same words Amaka had been saying their whole lives. The car pulled up to an old building. Not a restaurant, not anything recognizable. A shrine. Old, abandoned, dark. Why are we here, Amaka? Ngozi asked, fear creeping into her voice. That's when we returned to the beginning. That's when everything fell apart. Why are we here, Amaka? Ngozi looked at her best friend, confused. Amaka, I'm scared, Chioma whispered. This doesn't feel right. Amaka pulled out a red cloth from her bag, the kind used in rituals. Amaka, Ngozi's voice broke. Sister, what are you doing? Amaka turned to face them, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, she said, her voice cracking. I'm so sorry. But I had no choice. Choice about what? Ngozi screamed. The money, the house, the car, the clothes. Everything you saw, it wasn't from business. She looked at them with haunted eyes. 5 years ago, when I came to Onitsha, I had nothing. I tried everything. I worked, I begged, I failed. I was going to end up on the streets, or worse. So what did you do? Chioma asked, though part of her didn't want to know. I met someone. Amaka continued. Someone who promised me wealth. Everything I ever wanted. All I had to do was make a sacrifice. The word hung in the air, like poison. No, Ngozi whispered. No, you didn't. I did, Amaka said. I made a deal. Money and success in exchange for 2 lives. 2 people I loved. To be delivered on the 5th year. During the full moon. Chioma's legs gave out. She fell to her knees. You brought us here to kill us? She shouted, and her voice was full of pain. I brought you here because I had to. Do you think I wanted this? Every day for 5 years, I've been sick thinking about this night. Every letter I didn't send was because I couldn't face what I knew I had to do. Then don't do it, Ngozi shouted back. Let us go. We'll run. You'll never see us again. I can't, Amaka said, crying harder now. If I don't deliver you, the deal takes me. Everything I have disappears. And I die. They will kill me, Ngozi. They will kill me in ways you can't imagine. So you're going to kill us instead? Chioma screamed. We're your sisters. I know. Amaka collapsed to her knees too, sobbing. Don't you think I know that? You're the only family I ever had. The only people who ever loved me. And I have to... She couldn't finish the sentence. Please, Chioma begged, crawling towards Amaka. Please, sister. We can run together. All three of us. We'll go back to the village. We'll be poor again. But we'll be alive. We'll be together.
It's too late, Amaka whispered, her face wet with tears. They are already here. The shadows in the shrine began to twist and grow. Ngozi grabbed Chioma's hand, pulling her backward towards the entrance. Run! Ngozi screamed. But before they could move, the entrance slammed shut. Not by wind, not by human hands, by something else. The candles that weren't lit suddenly burst into flame, red flames, unnatural flames that didn't flicker. And from the shadows, figures began to emerge. 3 of them. They looked like people at first, but as they stepped into the candlelight, Ngozi and Chioma saw the truth. Their feet didn't touch the ground. Their eyes were completely black, no whites, no pupils, just empty darkness. And when they smiled, their teeth were too sharp, too many, too wrong. Amaka, the middle figure said, and its voice sounded like many voices speaking at once. Men, women, children, all layered together in a horrible harmony. You have brought them. Good. Chioma started crying, backing against the wall. What are they? They are the ones I made the deal with, Amaka said, her voice dead and hollow. 5 years ago, they gave me everything, and now they want what I promised them. The figure on the left circled Ngozi slowly, sniffing the air around her like an animal. This one is strong, full of life, full of fight. Her energy would taste sweet. The figure on the right moved towards Chioma, who was shaking so hard she could barely stand. And this one, it said with a horrible smile, is pure, innocent, trusting, even better. Please, Amaka said, stepping forward, even though her whole body was trembling. Please, can't we make another deal? I can give you something else, anything else. The middle figure, the leader, turned its black eyes on Amaka. You made a bargain. Money, success, and power for 5 years. In exchange, 2 lives, 2 people you love, delivered on the night of the 5th full moon of the 5th year. It gestured around the shrine. Tonight is that night. The debt is due. There is no other deal. But they are my sisters, Amaka screamed and her voice broke completely. They are all I have. Please. That is precisely why they are valuable. Sacrifice means nothing if it doesn't cost you everything. Ngozi found her voice, though it shook. Amaka, how could you? We loved you. We trusted you. We would have died for you. And now you will, the figure said with amusement. No, Amaka said, and suddenly she positioned herself between the figures and her friends. No, take me instead. I'm the one who made the deal. I'm the one who broke our bond. Take my life. Let them go. The 3 figures looked at each other and laughed. The sound was horrible, like bones breaking, like children screaming, like everything wrong in the world compressed into one noise. That's not how this works, the leader said. You cannot sacrifice yourself. The deal specifically requires you to sacrifice others. That is what makes it binding. That is what makes it powerful. Then I refuse, Amaka said, her voice gaining strength.
I won't do it. Kill me if you want, but you can't have them. The figure stopped laughing. The temperature in the shrine dropped so fast that frost began to form on the walls. If you refuse to complete the bargain, the leader said, her voice now devoid of all amusement, then all three of you die. We take your life for breaking the deal, and we take theirs because they were offered to us. Their souls are already marked. It raised one long, wrong hand, and on the palms of Ngozi and Chioma, a symbol began to burn, a mark, red and glowing, like a brand. They both screamed. You see, the figure said, they were marked the moment they entered this shrine, the moment you brought them here with intention to sacrifice them. Their souls are already ours. The only question is whether they die alone or whether you die with them. Amaka fell to her knees. Everything she had done, every lie, every sleepless night, every moment of guilt, it was all for nothing. She had tried to save herself by sacrificing them, and now all three of them would die. There has to be another way, Ngozi said, cradling her burning palm. There's always another way. There is no other way, unless... It paused, and something like curiosity flickered across its wrong face. What is it? Chioma begged. Please, tell us. There is one thing that can break a demon's bargain, one power stronger than contracts written in darkness. What is it? Amaka demanded. I'll do anything. Love, the figure said, and its voice was mocking. True love, true sacrifice, but not the kind you've shown here, Amaka. Not love mixed with selfishness and lies. It moved closer to the three girls. If one of you willingly sacrifices herself for the other two, with a pure heart and no hidden motives, the contract can be broken. But it must be a true sacrifice, a life freely given, not taken. The three figures stepped back, forming a triangle around the girls. You have until the moon reaches its peak, 1 hour. Decide among yourselves who dies so the others can live, or all three die together. And then the figures faded back into the shadows, leaving the three friends alone in the candle-lit shrine. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then Amaka stood up. Take me, she said clearly. I'm the one who caused this. I'm the one who betrayed you. Let me fix it by dying in your place. No, Ngozi said immediately. You're our sister. Despite everything, you're still our sister. I won't let you die. Then I'll do it, Chioma said quietly, and both girls turned to look at her. What? Ngozi said. Chioma, no! I'm the youngest, Chioma said with a gentle voice, steady despite her tears. I've had the least time to live. And besides, she looked at Amaka with eyes full of pain, but also love. You two are stronger than me. You can survive this. You can move forward. I've always been the weak one. That's not true, Amaka said fiercely. Chioma, you're the best of us. You're kind. You're pure. You're everything good that I'm not. Exactly, Chioma said with a sad smile. Which is why my sacrifice would be pure, willing, true. I forgive you, Amaka, for everything, and I choose to die so you both can live. Absolutely not, Ngozi said, grabbing Chioma's shoulders. I'm not letting you die for us. If anyone sacrifices themselves, it should be me. I'm the middle sister. I'm strong enough to make this choice. No, Chioma protested. You have so much life in you, so much joy. The world needs your laughter. And the world needs your kindness, Ngozi shot back. They were fighting about who got to die, and Amaka watched them, and something broke inside her that had been broken for 5 years. She had spent 5 years lying to them, using them, planning their deaths, and here they were fighting for the chance to die for each other. "Stop," Amaka said quietly. They didn't hear her. "Stop!" Amaka shouted, and they both turned to her. Amaka was crying harder than she had ever cried in her life. "I won't let either of you die for me. I don't deserve it. I brought you here to kill you. I lied to you for 5 years. I chose money over you. I chose comfort over loyalty. I chose myself over the only family I ever had." She walked to the center of the shrine where the ritual symbols were drawn on the ground. The figure said the sacrifice must be pure, that it must be given with love and no hidden motives. "My sacrifice can't break the deal because my heart isn't pure. I'm tainted by what I've done." She looked at her 2 friends, her sisters, standing there in their cheap village clothes with their scared faces and their loyal hearts. "But maybe," Amaka said, "maybe if I die knowing I don't deserve your forgiveness, but wishing I did, maybe that's pure enough. Maybe admitting I'm wrong, that you deserved better, that I failed you." She smiled through her tears. "Maybe that's the truest thing I've done in 5 years. "What are you doing?" Ngozi asked, fear in her voice. "I'm choosing you," Amaka said, simply, "both of you. Over my life, over my comfort, over my fear, I'm choosing you the way I should have chosen you 5 years ago." "No!" Chioma screamed, running toward her. But Amaka was faster. She drew the knife across her own palm, deep, and blood pooled in her hand. "I break this deal with my blood freely given," Amaka shouted to the shadows. "Take my life, release my sisters, let them go home." The shrine began to shake. The red candles exploded into massive flames, and the 3 figures materialized again, but this time they looked uncertain. "What have you done?" the leader demanded. "I've given you what you wanted," Amaka said, even as blood dripped from her hand onto the symbols drawn on the floor. "A sacrifice, made with love, with no hope of reward, made by someone who knows she doesn't deserve forgiveness, but gives herself anyway." The symbols on the ground began to glow. Not red like before, gold. "This is unexpected," the figure said, and for the first time it sounded worried. As Amaka's blood touched the symbols, something else began to happen. The old scars on Ngozi and Chioma's palms, the scars from when they were children, when they had made their blood oath under the mango tree, began to glow too, the same gold light. "What?" The figure stepped back. "What is this?" "We made a promise," Ngozi said, and suddenly she understood. She grabbed Chioma's hand, and Chioma grabbed Amaka's bleeding hand. Their 3 palms pressed together, their old scars aligned, and the gold light grew brighter. "Sisters forever," Ngozi said, her voice strong. "Sisters forever," Chioma repeated, tears streaming down her face. "Sisters forever," Amaka whispered, and this time she meant it with her whole heart. The light exploded outward. The demon's figure screamed, a horrible sound of rage and pain as the light burned them. A blood oath, made in childhood, sealed with innocence. It's older than our contract, stronger than our contract. "You tricked us, Amaka," another figure hissed. "You brought them here bound by an oath of true sisterhood. That bond cannot be broken by greed, cannot be broken by betrayal, cannot be broken by us." The shrine was filled with light now, pure, burning, clean. "The contract is void," the leader screamed as its form began to dissolve. "Your debt is paid by the strength of your bond. But know this, Amaka, you will carry what you almost did for the rest of your life. You will never forget that you brought them here to die." "I know," Amaka was sobbing. "I know. and I'll spend every day trying to make up for it. The figures were burning away now, turning to ash and smoke. And you too, the leader said, its voice fading, pointing at Ngozi and Chioma. You forgave her even after betrayal. That is the purest magic in any world. Guard it well. And then the demons were gone. The candles went out. The marks on their palms faded. And 3 friends collapsed on the floor of the shrine, alive. They didn't speak as they stumbled out of the shrine. The sun was rising, painting the sky pink and gold. Amaka's car was still there, waiting. They got in silently. Amaka's hands shook so badly she could barely hold the steering wheel. I'll take you home, Amaka finally said, her voice hoarse. Back to the village. You'll never have to see me again. Amaka, Chioma started. No, Amaka interrupted, tears flowing freely. Please, don't forgive me. Don't be kind to me. I don't deserve it. I brought you here to die, for money. I'm a monster. You're human, Ngozi said quietly from the back seat. Amaka looked at her in the rear-view mirror, shocked. You made a terrible choice, the worst choice, but in the end, you chose us. You were willing to die for us. Only after I had already tried to kill you, Amaka said bitterly. Yes, Ngozi agreed. And that will always be between us. That will always be part of our story, but... She reached forward and touched Amaka's shoulder. But you're still our sister. And sisters don't give up on each other, even when they should. Chioma was crying in the passenger seat. I don't know if I can forget what happened. I don't know if I can trust you again. I don't expect you to, Amaka whispered. But, Chioma continued, I don't want to lose you either. You are the only family we have, all of us. They drove in silence for a while. Finally, Amaka spoke. The house, the money, all of it, it's yours. I don't want any of it. Blood money. I'll go back to the village. I'll walk. I'll start over. Clean. What about your deal? Ngozi asked. If you give up everything, won't they come back? The deal is broken, Amaka said. The demon said so. The blood oath was stronger, but everything I gained from them, I can't keep it. It would poison me. She pulled over to the side of the road and turned to look at both of them. I'm so sorry, she said, and she meant it with every piece of her shattered heart. I'm so sorry for the lies, for the betrayal, for bringing you to that place, for choosing money over you. I will spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of your forgiveness. We know, Chioma said softly. And somehow, in that moment, it was enough. Not forgiveness, not yet. But acknowledgement, and maybe someday, healing. The apartment in Onitsha was sold. The money was divided 3 ways, although Ngozi and Chioma had to force Amaka to take her share. We're starting over, Ngozi had insisted, all of us, together. They didn't go back to the village. Too many painful memories. Instead, they found a small place in a different town, a fresh start. Amaka got a job as a cleaner in a hotel. Honest work, hard work, clean work. Ngozi got work as a hairdresser. Her cheerful personality made her popular with customers. Chioma got a job at a church, helping with children's programs. Her gentle nature was perfect for it. They lived together again, in a small 2-room apartment, sharing meals, sharing expenses, sharing life. But it wasn't the same as before. How could it be? There were nights when Chioma would wake up from nightmares screaming about the shrine. There were days when Ngozi would look at Amaka and see a stranger. There were moments when Amaka would hate herself so much she couldn't get out of bed. Do you think we'll ever be okay? Chioma asked one evening as they sat together eating dinner. I don't know, Ngozi admitted. But we are trying. That counts for something. I'm sorry, Amaka said for the 1,000th time. We know, Chioma and Ngozi said together. It became their rhythm. Amaka apologizing, them acknowledging. Small steps towards something that might eventually be healing.